Hare Krishna everyone, and we are back with Beyond Birth and Death by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, page number 16. Bhoga means enjoyment, and our enjoyment comes from understanding our position as the enjoyed. The real enjoyer is the Supreme Lord, and we are enjoyed by Him. An example of this relationship can be found in the material world between the husband and the wife. The husband is the enjoyer, Purusha, and the wife is the enjoyed, Prakriti. The word Pri means woman. Purusha or spirit is the subject, and Prakriti or nature is the object. The enjoyment, however, is participated in both by the husband and the wife. When actual enjoyment is there, there's no distinction that the husband is enjoying more or the wife is enjoying less. Although the male is the predominator and the female is the predominated, there's no division when it comes to enjoyment. On a larger scale, no living entity is the enjoyer. God expanded into many, and we constitute those expansions. God is one without a second, but He willed to become many in order to enjoy. We have experienced that there is little or no enjoyment in sitting alone in a room talking to oneself. However, if there are 5 people present, our enjoyment is enhanced, and if we can discuss Krishna before many people, the enjoyment is all the greater. Enjoyment means variety. God became many for His enjoyment, and thus our position is that of enjoyed. That is our constitutional position and the purpose for our creation. Both enjoyer and enjoyed have consciousness, but the consciousness of the enjoyed is subordinate to the consciousness of the enjoyer. Although Krishna is the enjoyer and we are the enjoyed, the enjoyment can be participated in equally by everyone. Our enjoyment can be perfected when we participate in the enjoyment of God. There's no possibility in our enjoying separately on the bodily platform. Material enjoyment on the gross bodily platform is discouraged throughout Bhagavad Gita. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukhadaha agama paino nityas tam stitikshasva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O sign of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Unquote, Bhagavad Gita 2.14. The gross material body is a result of the interaction of the modes of material nature, and it is doomed to destruction. Antavanta ime deha nitya yoktah sharirinah anashino prameyasya tasmad yudyasva bharata. Quote, only the material body is the indestructible, immeasurable. Only the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is subject to destruction. Therefore fight, O descendant of Bharata. Unquote, Bhagavad Gita 2.18. Shri Krishna therefore encourages us to to transcend the bodily conception of existence and attain to our actual spiritual life. Gunanetana tityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukhair vimukto mritam ashnute. Quote, when the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and distress, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. To establish ourselves on the pure Brahma Bhuta spiritual platform above the three modes, we must take up the method of Krishna consciousness, the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the chanting of the names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, facilitates this process. This method is called Bhakti Yoga or Mantra Yoga, and it is employed by the highest transcendentalists. How the transcendentalists realize their identity beyond birth and death, beyond the material body, and transfer themselves from the material universe to the spiritual universe are subjects of the following chapters. So chapter number 2, Elevation at Death. There are different kinds of transcendentalists who are called yogis: Hatha yogis, Jnana yogis, Dhyana yogis, and Bhakti yogis. And all of them are eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world. The word yoga means to link up, and the yoga systems are meant to enable us to link with the transcendental world. As mentioned in the previous chapter, originally we are all connected to the Supreme Lord, but now we have been affected by material contamination. The process is that we have to return to the spiritual world, and that process of linking up is called yoga. Another meaning of the word yoga is plus. At the present moment, we are minus God, or minus the Supreme. When we add Krishna or God to our lives, this human form of life becomes perfect. At the time of death, we have to finish that process of perfection. During our lifetime, we have to practice this method of approaching that perfection, so that at the time of death, when we have to give up this material body, that perfection can be realized. Prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balina chaiva bruvor madhye pranamaveshya samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. Quote, one who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and in full devotion engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unquote. Bhagavad Gita 8.10. Just as a student studies a subject for 4 or 5 years and then takes his examination and receives a degree, similarly with the subject of life, if we practice during our lives for the examination at the time of death, and if we pass the examination, we are transferred to the spiritual world. Our whole life is examined at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalivaram tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Quote, "Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail." Unquote. Bhagavad Gita 8.6. There is a Bengali proverb that says that whatever one does for perfection will be tested at the time of his death. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes what one should do when giving up the body. For the dhyana yogi, meditator, Shri Krishna speaks the following verses. Jai. So we are going to find out about what do dhyana yogis do in the next episode. And then after finding out what dhyana yogis and jnana yogis do, we will find out what bhakti yogis do. And that's very exciting. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time. Hare Krishna.